Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to begin this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bukakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to those for the elect of the nation of Israel. And all praises, honor, and glory is definitely due, especially in the times that we're in. As the prophecies are moving the way that they're moving, it's no longer talk about any year now, anything can happen. It's like we're expecting things to happen in months, and regardless, like even if you say a year, another year, look how fast that's gonna go by, because we already 5 months into this year. So the Lord is speeding up the time. So call Allah Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shah, man. But things are happening, and I just want to speak on a couple of videos that I was looking at. Give me a second.
Iran has estimates
Okay, so
of over 80,000 drones in Iran. Based on new media reporting, the United States has already expended 50% of our THAAD interceptor missiles, 50% of our Patriot missiles, and 30% of our Tomahawk missiles. And this is only about a month and a half. And so China and Russia are looking at this knowing they can just stockpile up on drones and ballistic missiles. And after a few months, the United States will run out of munitions to defend against them. A Patriot missile costs between $4 and $4.5 million. An Iranian drone costs about $30,000 to $50,000. It's like shooting Ferraris at Frisbees. We cannot match this asymmetrical warfare, and we can never make enough of these defensive munitions. So Iran has estimates of over 80,000 drones, over 100,000 drones. The United States has a Patriot missile inventory of over 10,000 Patriot missiles made over 40 years. We're never going to be able to produce enough defensive munitions against these drones. In any prolonged conflict that the United States has, the United States will...
So just letting you know where you hear DJ Trump, Nero, speaking. He speaks very proudly, as if they pretty much are way ahead of Iran in this war, as if they're really just kicking Iran's ass. They destroying certain things, hitting certain infrastructure spots, I guess. But they ain't doing damage like they claiming to be doing damage. Okay. And it's trust me, it's always more going on behind the scenes than what they tell you. Okay. So the point is that neither one of them are slated to win this war. It's gonna go into World War III. Okay. Like it or not, But the point is, it's like they're saying Babylon can't afford, if you look at the title, Babylon can't afford a prolonged war with Iran. And you see why, because America running out of ammunition. Because this America being that bully that he is, just shooting, that loose cannon, man. America is a loose cannon in itself. And see, all these here is the Lord, has been the Lord setting the stage for Babylon's fall. Babylon is not going to be able to defend itself. Okay, real soon Babylon is not going to have any defense, no allies, no nothing. It's going to be, all you Babylonians are going to be just sheep to the slaughter now. And so this is why we praying, for deliverance, though. You understand the times that you're in, though, man. As you go into 2nd Ezra chapter 9, Second Ezra chapter 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath an beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And we're seeing all those signs, okay? And this is why we measure the time diligently. I mean, when you hear the news like that there, you know that this is Bible prophecy panning out, because, you know, Babylon the Great is going to be a desolation. And you know that we're close to that time. So you, again, be getting your house in order, you know. And that's the purpose of these prophecies continuing to, well, these epistles, you know what I'm saying, to come out for us to prophesy about these things and continue to let you know the times that you're in, so you can keep your house in order. If you don't already have it in order, then you can get your house in order and keep it in order. Okay? So we're basically making the bride ready for the groom. Okay? So, I had another video I wanted to watch. Let's see. That I wanted to play. I'm gonna get that one last, but let me go to. No. I can't seem to find it. You know, it was probably in a was it this video?
If I do not get this.
This is only for educational purposes only.
As this may all sound, it is a very real threat to America and its adversaries.
So there you go, man. You know, when this goes down, this is exactly, and brothers and myself, Scripture speaks about that we shall eat and we shall drink. All right, so I want to touch on that. You know, and she had a dream about a blackout, the grids. And I had a couple of dreams out throughout my years of that. We know something like that is coming down the pipe. You know, and when the lights go on, we pray Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is why we're preparing in the spirit. So when that time comes, you know, we going to rely on the Lord to take care of us, to provide for us whatever we need when things are going left. All right? Now, it's important because this is coming. Now, I want to show y'all something. All right, let's play this video. I'm going to play the first 2 minutes. All right? As you can see, it's called AI Predicts an EMP Attack.
It's midnight in the city. You're walking home from a late night shift when you catch an instant burst of light in the corner of your eye. Moments later, your phone shuts off. Cars roll to a stop. Everything goes dark and panic sets in. And then you hear distant explosions. Planes are falling out of the sky. The United States has just been attacked with an EMP bomb, plunging the entire country into a total blackout. And the worst part is, they have no idea who did it. In the coming months, infrastructure will be a piece of history. Food supplies will dwindle.
And right quick, I remember he said in the coming months. Okay. See, anything can happen at any point now. That's why if you miss a day, you miss a lot. That's why the water Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit on brothers to do lessons daily and multiple lessons sometimes. You know, a lot of times actually. You know, so we can continue to stay on the word, because if you miss one day, you miss a lot, man. And so things happen on a daily basis. Things change on a daily basis. Sometimes in just a minute, everything can be changed. You know. So that's why we pulled out 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Measure the time diligently. Understand how close you are to these things, man.
And chaos will be the new status quo. As far-fetched.
Fair use. Under the 1976 Copyright Act, I'm not getting paid for none of this. This is only for educational purposes only.
As this may all sound, it is a very real threat to America and its adversaries.
So there you go, man. You know, when this goes down, this is exactly. And brothers and myself and plenty of women like her, you know, they done had dreams about this, man. All right? So things about to get heat up, and this is why we're preparing in the spirit.
And that's where our preparation is, in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man. So that's why we continue to keep our houses in order, man. For real, man, because this is getting deadly serious, deadly quickly. Okay? 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 11. 2nd Ezra 15 and 11, it says, and I will bring them, he said, well, I'll start at 10. Behold, my people is led as flock to the slaughter, and I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, because now he's getting ready to come and save the elect. You know what I'm saying? It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. This is talking about Yahweh Shah. It says, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. And you can go into the book of Exodus and read about how the Lord had Egypt jacked up, a plague of frogs, locusts, turned the whole Nile River red. You know what I'm saying? That final plague, that plague of death, hey, the Lord is a Alashadra, man. Straight up. Demon-like power. You know, it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. And one of those plagues was darkness. Okay, and I believe it was described as thick darkness. And see, so these plagues are coming back upon Egypt as we speak. Because America, Babylon is the modern day Egypt. Okay? So this is where we are now. This is where we are. You know, but that's why we keep watching on on the things that are going on. You know, let me let this here brother speak.
I want to talk to everyone seriously in my audience right now. And this is more than any other video. If you're watching this, it is very, very important that you keep watching, okay? And I'm going to lay it to you guys straight. The United States economy is about to collapse, the hardest it's ever collapsed of all time. I'm telling you. I'm talking famines. I'm talking no recollection of going on. I'm talking power outages. I'm talking everything. And the only people who are going to be comfortable in this time are the people who hold the money within our system, which would be our elected officials, which would be the mega rich and the elite. They are going to be holding all the money. They're going to be the ones living in comfort while the rest of us have to fend for ourselves because the economy is collapsing. Why is it happening? Real question. Why is it happening? Well, I believe everything is spiritual, but I'm going to tell you the actual physical reason, okay? We are at war. That is not a lie. As much as our president wants to lie to us and say, no, negotiations are happening. No. The country that we are in a fight with, they don't like us. They never have liked us. They don't like us. We hurt their leader. Their leader, if they hurt our leader, we're fighting them, right? It's the same thing with them. We hurt their leader, and they aren't the type to just give up. They don't give up. And the thing about that is America knew that before they did this, and that's why we've never attacked them until now, because they martyr.
And ultimately, it's just all the doing of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai. But he's having it done through his left hand, which is Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, and these people, these Edomites, are Satan's physical counterpart here on the earth, and they're doing this mess, But see, they're doing it because whether anybody wants to believe it or not, they have to do this in order to bring in their new world order. So you're in the back seat thinking that the person that's driving does not know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Okay? They know exactly what they're doing and where they're trying to go. Okay? When you're in the back seat, you know something is going on because you're making all these different turns and stops and stuff like that. There was something ain't right with this driver, man. It's like it ain't something ain't right with Esau. Well, nothing is right with Esau. But see, this is who, the Lord has in charge right now. But that's why, trust me, they know exactly what they're doing. You just don't know.
Different from being just a mean country with, weapons. No, I'm talking they martyr. They make sure that we get our revenge no matter what. So what does this in turn have to do with your economy? Trade routes are going to close. We're going to have disconnect with a lot of other countries that we normally connect with. And that would be China, that would be Russia, that would be many different parts of many different globes. And also in Africa, where we get most of our work from and our minerals and our everything that we get our stuff from, Africa is not going to have it. Africa is not going to have it. They are already running out of stuff. They're in a famine themselves. It has started there in other countries where we take advantage of. So there's three factors here. The countries we take advantage of no longer have the material, and it's now finite. The other countries that we trade with to get the material whenever we're not able to farm it ourselves are no longer going to be trading with us. And we're in the middle of a war, and that war is essentially going to be the main primary focus for where all of our money goes. And the elites have nothing to do but make more money off of those wars.
Con. And I'm going to let him finish. I'm going to go back. But I want to go to the book of Revelation, chapter 18. And I'll start at the top here. It says, "And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and cage of every unclean and hateful bird." Okay, so this is future prophecy. John the Revelator seen this place falling, okay, and become a desolate wilderness, man. It says, verse 3, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." Because America being a consumer nation and a nation of comfort, and of entitlement. So America constantly spends, constantly spends. That's why everybody's constantly in debt, because you're constantly trying to get the new this, the new that. One up this person, one up that person. This is all envy of the devil, man. Just lets you know we're in Babylon the Great. It says, so a lot of these countries are waxing rich, have gotten rich off America's spending. America has lived in comfort for too long. Anyway, let me keep going. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, and ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Okay? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Okay, so, I mean, this is why we saying, come out of her, my people. You have to spiritually disconnect from Babylon the Great, man. From the ways of Babylon the Great, and return back to the ways of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Okay? That way, you will be protected when the plagues come, as the Lord protected his people in Egypt. He's gonna protect his elect in these days. Okay? But these plagues are coming, man. These plagues are definitely coming. So it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works in the cup which she had filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. See, that's the pride of America, Babylon the Great. You know what I'm saying? They think that they can never be brought down. You see what I'm saying? But they're being brought down as we speak. And you Americans that's sitting back lackadaisical, like nothing is gonna happen, like you did in the days of Noah and in the days of Sodom. You know what I'm saying? You doing it right now in the days of the coming of the Son of Man, the days of the coming of Yahweh Shai. Okay, and you gonna be caught off guard. You gonna be caught when he comes as a thief in the night. Where the elect are gonna be sitting here like happy to see you, bro. We're gonna be happy to see the things coming. You know what I'm saying? We're happy right now when we see these prophecies coming. We know we're in Jacob's trouble. We're happy. We're excited about Jacob's trouble heating up and intensifying. And it's definitely about to. So let me go back to this, brothers. And Babylon, again, Babylon is going to receive double what they did to us Israelites. Man, hey, you Edomites got it coming. Just had to say that. Matter of fact, let me go to Obadiah. And I thought it was another video I'm going to look for while the rest of his is playing. But the book of Obadiah says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. This is talking about Esau, Edom. And right now, America is his capital city, whose habitation is high, and saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay? And once again, the Lord is bringing this place down for real.
Your economy, inside of all three of those, sometimes it's been one, sometimes it's been two, but it's never been all three at the same time simultaneously. We've never been in a war, had a famine in other countries, and a shortage of supplies, and also are not able to trade with other countries because they don't like us. So when all of those things happen at the same time, guess what? We suffer as Americans. They've been suffering, by the way. All these other countries have been suffering. There's oil shortages, there's power outages. They're trying their best to live. Americans are actually more comfortable than most other nations, extremely more comfortable. So it's important that you know. It's important that you know that it's coming, and very, very soon. Your family, your friends, and more are going to suffer.
That's absolutely true. It's true. So let me get back in Revelation chapter 18. But now, It's this one I want. Let me find it. I think it's Habakkuk. Isaiah 47:1, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, and make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen, and I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." Yeah, because Yahushua is coming in his chariots, you know what I'm saying, in his glory, in all his glory, okay, with his armies, with his angels, okay, and they come in the wreck shop, okay, and he ain't coming in a body that you can just kill or mutilate or whatever. You can't crucify him no more. But he's gonna come and take vengeance on all y'all. You know what I'm saying? And you're being made bare. And these nations are noticing your weaknesses. They're noticing how weak you are. And they're just gonna let you weaken yourself even more before they come bring this motherfucker down. Before the Lord make them start shooting them nuclear missiles here. And start really destroying this motherfucker. But that's pretty much it. I want to go back to that first video that I played. Yeah, and it's just
Has
short.
in any prolonged conflict that the United States has, the United States will lose. And that is because we will run out of munitions. In this unconstitutional war in Iran, based on new media reporting, the United States has already expended 50% of our THAAD interceptor missiles, 50% of our Patriot missiles, and 30% of our Tomahawk missiles. And this is only about a month and a half. And so China and Russia are looking at this knowing they can just stockpile up on drones and ballistic missiles. And after a few months, the United States will run out of munitions to defend against that. A Patriot missile costs between $4 and $4.5 million. An Iranian drone costs about $30,000 to $50,000. It's like shooting Ferraris at Frisbees. We cannot match this asymmetrical warfare. And
he said they're shooting Ferraris at Frisbees, okay? Because America's just acting out erratically. You know what I'm saying? They're acting out extra erratically. And because Esau know that he has a short time, so ultimately everything else he does at this point is just gonna be a Hail Mary. You know what I'm saying? A Hail Mary after Hail Mary after Hail Mary. He gonna Hail Mary his way up out of this motherfucker. You know? Let me get this in Jeremiah, and that'll be all. I did want to make that point. America is losing its military might, period. That's why, and that's not just speaking of weapons, but they'll eventually still have to do this draft, and they continue to talk about it. You know, because they're running out of men. People are dying already by the thousands. You know. And then hell, the army is already short. It ain't reached its quota in years. Its yearly quota has never been reached in the last 4 or 5 years, I want to say. Because America does not produce warriors anymore. America produces she-males. You know what I'm saying? And the nation see this. You've been made bare and naked. You know? But I'm going to say this. I'm going to close this and I'm going to read this and I'm going to end it. Jeremiah 50. No, I believe it's 23. Yes, it says, Jeremiah 15:23, it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Okay? That's the hammer of the earth, being Babylon the Great, is being cut asunder and being broken. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? The Lord hath opened his army, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. And you can read that there, that's pretty much the point. America is just pretty much falling, man. It's just a wrap for this place. That's pretty much all I had to say in this short speaking on to speak on prophecy. And you know what, before that, let me go back to this video. Since we're in the prophecy, go back to the one of the other ones. And because
things about to get heat up.
She had a dream in this here that he's speaking about. So I'm gonna let you hear her dream.
Smart, because I knew that I couldn't let the people out. If I do not get this message out, I'm going to be in trouble with God. So.
And this is on the Brother Saints of Jersey. Okay. If you haven't already, subscribe and be edified, man.
Over a month ago, it was November 16th, 2024. I had a dream about the end times. If you are a believer, you know what I'm talking about. So, in the dream, I was in my apartment that I'm currently living in right now, and I was just chilling, scrolling on my phone on TikTok, nothing new, right? I start seeing demonic video play. I'm scrolling demonic video. I knew something was wrong. I shut my phone off, threw it on the floor immediately. I went to go turn on the light, realized my lights weren't working. That's when I knew that something was not right for real. So once I realized my lights weren't working, I went to the window. I noticed that everybody was walking outside. I realized in the dream that they cut the power grids. So once I realized they cut the power grids, I'm looking outside. Everyone's coming out of their apartments, coming outside. And I see that there is a screen being lowered from the sky. And I just knew that whatever they were about to play on that screen was going to be demonic. So I stepped away from the window because I knew that I could not see it. And I also knew that I could not go outside. I knew that I needed to stay inside the apartment. So after I step away from the window, I'm thinking in my mind, generator. So I went and immediately a switch turned on. I turned on the bathroom light. I was smart because I knew that I couldn't let the people outside know that I had power. So I only turned on lights that other people wouldn't be able to see. After that, in the dream, I checked my pantry. My pantry was exactly how it was at that time. So back in November, I saw exactly how my pantry looked. I saw cereal. I saw the few canned goods that I had prepared, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need more stuff. The dream fast forwards to where I now have enough supplies. I have the canned goods. I have the non-perishable.
See, everything that's going on in this dream is pretty much what she's talking about preparing for and all of that. This is all these plays that's coming. This is Jacob's trouble.
I have the water, I have the portable stove, I have the generators, and I also have a man with me at that point. So after that, I'm talking to the man that I'm with, and
Salaki is like she somehow ended up with a man. And to me, that's prophetic because, it's scriptural that the Lord is going to send. You got Isaiah 4:1. I can go ahead and get that. See, all these things are getting ready to come into play. This is why it's all prophecy, man. All the prophecies coming together. You know what I'm saying? I'm tripping here. Isaiah 4 and 1. And it says, and in that day 7 women shall take a hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. Women are going to need to be protected. Women are going to be shameful, because right now they're shameless. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, women are going to be seeking a man of the Lord. And if you're a righteous woman, the Lord is going to lead you to your man. You know? But there will be multiple women seeking after that man. But I just wanted to make that point. We can go back to the video.
Ask him, we have a year's worth of supplies. Do you think we can go and prepare my family? And then the dream ends. This dream is about preparation. This dream is about...
Yeah, and I'm going to end it right there, because no, it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's about end time prophecy, and you know that. You see that these times are coming. You should be getting yourself right with Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay? We should be getting right with our power, man. And you see the time is up, man. I mean, this word won't be going out soon. Soon this word won't be going out. And it's going to be too late. Isaiah 65 and 13, therefore thus saith the Lord God, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And there's nothing wrong with getting out and doing a little prepping, and if you're able, you know what I'm saying, to get a little extra things, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you do that. That's common sense. But that's not what this is all about. Okay? And you cannot depend on that, because people are going to be spoiling your house. This is every man for himself. With everything you're going through right now, that's probably why the dream ended with her asking her husband if they can go, like, take some food for her family. And that was it. Because at that point, no, it ain't gonna be none of that. It ain't gonna be no moving around, all that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? People gonna be going from house to house. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to take all your goods. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord is gonna feed his elect, man. The Lord is going to feed his elect. I believe this is in Revelation. I mean, in 2nd Ezra 15. And I can't find it. I hate that. Anyway, Isaiah 65 and 14, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen, for the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai shall slay thee, and call his servants by another name. Okay, and we striving to be of that number, man. But our faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to get us through this. You know what I'm saying? I got to find this scripture. Give me a second. Let me try to word it differently. Second Ezra 16 and 71. Figured that. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Okay? It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Okay? Okay, so even with you prepping and all this here, this is, once again, you're in a society, a dystopian society, basically. Is every man for himself. And there's no food, no more money, no food, no more grocery stores, no more nothing. Whatever you went and prepped up, somebody's coming to get it. Okay, so we don't depend on that. That's not what our hope is in. You know what I'm saying? That's self-hope. Our hope and our faith is in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Okay, and the elect right now all being tried as the gold in the fire, and this is how we're going to stand up and shine in this time, and this is how people are going to know who the real men of the Lord are. The ones that's not killing and stealing and doing all the crazy stuff, but for some reason they sustained. And they're eating, they look healthy. They got this glow about them. They're not worried as everybody else is. They're not going crazy. They have stability. Remember, wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of our times. Okay? And that wisdom and knowledge, you have to hold on to that. Hold on to that wisdom and knowledge. Through that wisdom and knowledge, you know to fear the Lord, and you know to have faith in the Lord. Okay? In Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, but I'm going to end it right there, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. Understand and remember the times we're living in, y'all. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatham. Till the next time, Shalom.